What's up? It's Ryan, and before we start today's show, before we slide up in your ear holes, we have a special announcement to make. The official Gamestitch Podcast will now be available on Dash Radio 5 times a week. That's right, 5 times. If you want to hear us over there, all you have to do is download the Dash Radio app. Search for the multiplayer channel. Now I'm going to give you our lineup. I'm going to tell you when we're playing. So Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. Tuesday, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 Central. And Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. Check us out over there. Share it with your friends. Another great way to listen to the official Gamestitch Podcast. And we're excited to have a new home on Dash Radio. All right, thanks. Enjoy the show. Welcome to episode 266 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton, and as always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
I'm back. As always. Every Sunday.
You're always back.
I'm always back.
Never not back.
Not to be confused with Backstreet. Because
Backstreet's back.
Yes, Backstreet's back as well.
So are the Spice Girls. You see that?
They're going on a tour or something? Or
yeah, they're doing a two-country tour.
Yeah.
Also known as a money grab.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not mad at it, though.
Is it all? I haven't seen the details, though. Is it all of them?
So it appears to be. It gets a little murky because they were all together. There's reports that they all signed, but then I think Posh, Victoria Beckham, then said that she was not doing a tour, or they were not reuniting. So I don't know if that's just her trying to be sneaky and like, we're not making new music, but yeah, she's always had an attitude about it.
Or it could be Posh going, I'm married to David fucking Beckham. I don't need to go on tour.
Yeah, but don't you want to be more than David Beckham's wife?
You know what? Let me tell you something. For the right amount of money, there's a lot of titles I'll be okay with. And David Beckham's wife would probably be one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that myself, but when you had a career, a successful career before him, I can see where you might want to be like, I can still do this. She was always the one I liked the most back in the day because she seemed like the hardest to be close to. Like she always seemed like a bitch, is what I'm trying to say.
I could see. She had that Carrie Underwood face.
Yeah, no, I hate Carrie Underwood. Don't lump these two together.
I know, that's why I wanted to say it.
Don't do that to me. So she always just, I don't know, she always looked like if you were somewhere and you bumped into the Spice Girls, she was the one that wasn't going to talk to you.
That's fair. My favorite was always Ginger.
Right. Now, she's the first one to talk to you.
Yeah, I felt like of all of 5 of them, I probably had the best chance with her, yeah.
Right. Speaking of best chance, Jennifer Aniston separating. Back on the market.
Yeah, go for it, bro. It's all you.
Jennifer, if you're listening and you think, I'm into podcasts, and guys that host them in their spare time.
And I like this dude.
I like this guy that I've never met.
This dude.
I like her.
Do you?
Yeah,
she's good in some things. I've never been bowled over by her, by a lot of people have. But
some reports that she's getting back with Brad.
I don't know if those are reports as much as
a report's the same thing as a rumor anymore.
No, they're still different.
No, people will say there's reports out there, but they just mean rumors.
Oh yeah, well, people are stupid. I mean, I don't know if you knew that or not, but if not, I'm bringing it to your attention now for future reference.
They're not getting back together.
No, I feel like everything, Brad Pitt's cool, but it seems like every woman he touches, breaks.
Yeah. I think he might be an asshole.
Could be. Could be.
So we've talked about a lot of conspiracy theories.
Uh-oh.
people now are saying that Jennifer and Justin were never married. Officially. There is no paperwork.
Okay.
So, they had a wedding. Like, they had people there. People went to it.
That could be like a commitment ceremony. That's fine.
Yeah, but people are saying there was never any actual paperwork.
Okay.
I like that.
I don't really care.
I hope it's true.
I mean,
that seems like a way for Hollywood to avoid issues, though. Just don't actually get married.
It has no bearing on me one way or the other.
Yeah, but see, I read a lot of TMZ, and then I got to read for months about how they're separating the fucking houses.
Well, you could not. Okay, you know what? I don't care about your personal choice. Those are consequences to all choices, and that's one of them.
I have to read it to stay in touch with the kids.
Oh, yeah? You need to stay in touch with the kids?
Sometimes I wouldn't even know who these people are. The last thing I want to do is be in a group of hip kids, and then they'll drop a name that I don't know.
I kind of get what you're saying, because my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, obviously, because I am really married.
Right, because you did the paperwork. Like Jennifer Aniston.
Right. Justin Theroux.
Yeah, piece of shit.
She still gets People magazine delivered to her house, and when she's done with them, she gives them to my wife. So I will flip through them to, see, you know.
That's all it's about for me. I don't really care about anything I read on TMZ. The last thing I want is to be that guy where you're like, how fucking old are you?
Right.
Because you're not old enough to talk like my grandfather. So I have to stay in touch, and that's where I go. Because I will say that TMZ is almost always right, also. Like, they do some vetting of their stories.
I get it.
So I check it a couple times a day, see what's up. And sometimes I'll see a name, I'm like, who is that? Like, what do they do?
And you, Google them, or?
So sometimes I'll Google them. You can also click on a name in TMZ, like in the app, and it'll take you to all their other stories that are about that person.
Yeah, and you can usually put 2 and 2 together to get to 4.
Yeah, I can usually scroll back enough to find, they're associated with this person or they're on this thing. But a lot of times they write each story as if you're an idiot. Like, they're like, this person who was in this, who did this. Mm-hmm. Like, they write each story like you're brand new to life.
So it's geared towards people like you is what you're saying.
I think so. And I like that about it. That's our celebrity gossip minute.
Celebrities. Which we are not.
That's true.
I
was actually going to say it's kind of like the opposite of us is what I was going to say.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So same idea, just approached from different angles.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which is what life is about, different angles.
Mm.
You relate that back to everything that you do.
Different angles, yes.
Different angles.
Different angles. Sure.
If this is your first time here, welcome. We do this little get-together, this show. We do it every week. We post it every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world for your listening entertainment. iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Dash Radio. We're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us. If you love the show, head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch. You can toss us a couple buckaroonies over there. If not, that's cool too. This show's free. We're free. In our personal life, professionally, we have to be paid.
Or easy. Easy, free, same thing.
Most time. Sometimes free is not easy. They want you to buy something, then send in a mail-in form to get your $20 back, which makes it free. But yeah,
let me tell you something. My wife is huge on rebates.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gotten money back from a rebate.
Yeah, a mail-in rebate is the same thing as no rebate for me.
Through work of my own, I've never done it.
Yep, that's me too. If it's a mail-in rebate, it's like you should pretty much just hand it to him and go, here's some money you're not going to get back.
Which they count on.
Mm-hmm. That's why they do it that way. It's supposed to be a hassle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Same thing for, if they give me a receipt at a restaurant. Take a survey and you can get a free appetizer. Yeah, fuck that. Well, I look like I'm just made of time. I can just put all this effort towards it.
There are some, not the restaurant ones I don't usually do. Because I don't usually go to the same restaurant enough for it to warrant that coupon doing me any good.
Right.
And I don't believe in giving stuff to people. So
right.
That's not exactly what I mean, but it's close enough. But sometimes, every now and then, if it's somewhere where I do shop a fair amount, I will. Like, every now and then I'll do a GameStop one just because. Well, because I got this 5 minutes here and whatever.
Yeah. If I have a really good experience, I'll jump on and do one. Like if something happened while I was there and I was like, wow, this was all right. Like more than I expected, I guess, I'll jump on and do one as long as it doesn't take long. Because if I get on, it's like, oh, you've answered question 1 of 30. I'm like, that's it too.
That's what's cool about like GameStop has like 5 questions.
Yeah,
it literally takes less than a minute.
Yeah, I've done some GameStop ones. Now they I think were done for the opposite reason. They pissed me off so bad. Where I'm like, I'll give you 5 minutes to tell you how much that sucked. No problem.
I'll tell you one. It's never, ever, ever even occurred to me to possibly do. Like sometimes if I go to like I don't know, like an old Charlie's or something, I might consider. I'm like, maybe I'll think. Nah, I think about it and then I don't. But when they want me to do a survey at a fast food restaurant, it's not happening ever.
See, I'll do one at a fast food restaurant.
I will not. I don't. It just seems pointless to me.
Well, it depends, I guess. So like Noodles and Company. Do you have those?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that fast food.
Well, so if you go there and you fill out the survey while you're there, they'll give you a free appetizer then.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Which is maybe the best way to ever get me to fill anything out because it's not depending on me coming back.
Right. No,
like,
I get that.
I can just have it now. So I fill it out. I walk it back up front. They're like, cool, which one do you want? And this one. Like a caveman. They're like, here you go. It's perfect.
This one.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Give me this one.
Ryan want this one.
Meatball. Their Korean meatballs are on point.
They do have good Korean meatballs.
They have good pot stickers too.
I'm not a pot sticker guy.
Oh, really? I like pot stickers.
No, the weird thinly membraned outside weird.
I'll tell you how I get over that. I really like the crisp up the bottom a lot, where you got a crunch on the bottom, so you don't even notice that top.
Yeah, no, it always reminds me of like an alien egg sack.
Yeah, I don't like those alien egg sacks. Never had one that I liked. Got to be prepared correctly. Let's talk about some games. Did you play anything?
I did. Not a whole lot. I did get to party up a little bit this week. Not to play, but, I did play with a good friend, Marshall 205. We were
205, a.k.a. 207.
A.k.a. 207. I finally figured out his name on PA. Because I just click on the M. He's like,
I appreciate that behavior because I don't bother to read anyone's real name.
I'm like, okay, M's on, cool. I go to my M's, I'm like, okay, M's on, click. So we played some Paladins. We did party up. We were in a party with our good listener of the show, friend Garrett Wade. He was in a party. He was playing something different, obviously, and Tanya got on too. And, so it was all 4 of us and a little talky.
Little talky talk.
What?
Also, if you haven't checked out, Tanya did a live stream of Bloodborne.
Yes, she did.
And it's super fun to watch. And also, she did like a really good job.
Yeah. She did.
Go ahead.
She did better than I would ever do at that game.
Me too. But I'll tell you, she did so well. And I've been talking to Garrett that I told him, like, she did so well that I think I'm going to try to play.
Because now you think you have a chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least more so than like I thought that I would have had. Like, because I thought that I would just die repeatedly.
Right.
Which I still probably will, but she made me feel like I could probably play that game.
Was that a commentary on her or you?
No, definitely on me.
Okay.
Because I don't have the skills for a game like that. But it made me think that maybe I could. Like, maybe I could, with practice, maybe I could get it.
So you're going to give it a shot, huh?
Yeah, I think so. But you can find it on... You can go back to our Twitter where he sent out the link to it. He's also Big Bear on Twitter. All one word.
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah, that's what I meant. And you can watch it over there. It's pretty good.
Yeah, she did a real good job. Kudos to Tanya.
And remember, that was part of their agreement.
Yep.
for the fantasy football stuff.
Yes.
So check that out, and let them know you were there.
So we chatted.
Or don't.
So we chatted that night and played some Paladins, and all four of us were chatting together. I also, I told you I was going to do it, but I didn't stream it. But I did start another playthrough of Splinter Cell Conviction. Talking about it last week made me super excited to play it again. And it was not misguided, because I do love that game.
Does it hold up?
It holds up. At first I was concerned, because when I originally bought it, I bought it digitally.
Right.
On the Xbox 360. So I re-downloaded it on the Xbox One because it's backwards compatible. And because I already owned it, lets you download it. So first getting to the title screen, loading it up, getting to the title screen and all that, it seemed to be taking a little bit of time, and the controls seemed to be lagging. And I'm like, oh, fuck, is this just the Xbox getting, control over the new game, or is this how the whole game is going to play? It just took a minute. Everything geared up and was fine. Controls fine, plays fine. Still really like that game. I still recommend you check it out. I stand by my Gone But Not Forgotten. I still say it's my favorite of the games, if not the best of the Splinter Cell games. And what else? Oh, I downloaded another game that I played when I had the 360 was Shadow Empire. And I was going to go back to that and fired it up, and I was like, man, this looks... It just doesn't feel right anymore. It doesn't feel right from what I'm used to playing. So, but I really, really wanted to play it, so I had to go over to PS4, and I downloaded the Shadow Empire Remastered HD, and it's much more along the lines of what I'm looking for. It looks better, it controls better, and then I just been checking Paladins every day. But I got some stuff going on at work with a new system, and I'm getting home, and I'm just ready to either bang my head against the wall or pass out. So,
or you could combo those.
I could
slam your face in the wall until you wake up the next morning.
You could do it that way.
Yeah,
I prefer that to waking up the next morning and banging my face against the wall, because that's not a good way to start the day. But it's a good way to end it. So if you ever find yourself in a bind, there you go. There's your way out.
So I don't know if it's a good way to end it, but it's better than so if there's appropriate time to bang your face into the wall, it's definitely right before bed. Yeah. Right. If you've decided that is what's going to happen,
there's no better time.
Right. Yeah, some would say that there's no better time to bang your face up against the wall than bedtime. Is that all you played?
And that's it. Like I said, not much. I have been checking Paladins every day to keep getting my rewards, but
I'm still rolling without internet.
I know.
By rolling, I mean screeching halt to all life. So I've been playing a lot of Switch, balls deep back in Golf Story. I had a stroke right there.
See what happens when you don't have internet? You forget how to talk.
Been playing a lot of game. So I've been playing a lot of Golf Story. I wish... So I still really enjoy that game. I wish that I had not been derailed. When I hit that glitch, that bug.
Did you have to start over?
I didn't have to start over, but I left that game for a long time waiting for the patch that fixed it. And it did fix it. But there's just something... You know how when you can't wait to play a game and it's all you can think about?
Yeah.
I had that, and I don't have that now, even though I really enjoy it still.
Mm-hmm.
But taking months off, I lost that passion.
Yeah, I can see how that could happen.
And then when I was playing last night, I actually went to talk to somebody. When I talked to somebody, all of a sudden it teleported me onto the flagpole of a hole, and I could not move. And I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me."
Another glitch?
So I just exited the map, which is a feature they have now where you can just back out to the map.
Mm-hmm.
They had it before, but you can't do it when you're inside, I think is what the problem was. But anyways, they let me exit the map, and it was fine. But I panicked for a second. Now I don't trust it.
Right. No, I
we've
understand.
lost trust now.
I understand.
So I'm playing that. I'm going to finish it. I want to get to the end of that. I've been playing a little more Kerbal on PS4. And then Mario Odyssey, some more of that. And then you'll appreciate this. A lot of Zen Pinball happening.
Ooh, yeah.
Man, that game is good. I forgot how good Zen Pinball was.
Zen Pinball is great.
I've been just all over the Plants vs. Zombies table.
Did you update to the newer HD version?
Yeah, I assume so. So I didn't buy anything.
No. It's like a free. It's like called something different now. It's
Pinball FX.
Yes.
Mine still says Zen Pinball, so maybe not. But I have Pinball FX VR.
Oh, did you play it in VR?
Not yet. I'm probably going to do that soon.
You have to.
Yeah, I know, because I think it's like you're standing over the table. Because you have the different camera views, but this you could just lean closer if you wanted to see.
And then do you just tap the move controllers for your buttons?
I gotta think so. Yeah, probably.
Ooh,
that'd be good.
Wee.
I might take a table, zip tie them to the side, so I feel like I got real flippers.
There you go.
So Pinball FX and Zen Pinball, for those who don't know, they're the same thing. On the Xbox side, you had Pinball FX. On PS4, you had Zen Pinball. It is Zen Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really good.
Some of the finest pinball action out there.
Yeah.
And so long-time listeners will remember we used to play a lot of Zen Pinball.
Yeah.
I think we should get back into it.
It was me, you, and a few others who were always battling.
Yeah.
Battling to get first place on boards.
Dude, those games are fun.
They are fun. They're a lot of fun.
Except for that V12 table. Fuck you.
I play the Marvel tables usually.
Yeah, they're good too. I have 4 or 5 of those.
And I have the Star Wars ones.
Mm-hmm. They have some crazy ones now. I didn't realize they had like a Bethesda pack.
Yeah, they do have some.
But when you're rolling without internet, you have what you have.
Oh, right. They have
I would love to play the Fallout table, but it ain't happening.
The only thing is sometimes they seem a little outlandish. I like the ones that still kind of maintain the pinball presence.
Right. Plants vs. Zombies has actual zombies pop up and walk towards you.
Right.
But it's fun.
But it still maintains the...
It would be a good table without that.
Like there's some weird ones where you like go and then it goes and the ball teleports here and then...
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of those ones.
Mm.
And for some reason, I don't know why. I understand why they're there, but I fucking hate anything. I like old school where it's just 2 flippers.
Oh, you don't like when there's 12 sets of flippers?
No. No.
I was playing Plants vs. Zombies table for like 45 minutes before I realized there was a flipper up top.
I've done that before. I
was like, holy shit, there's one right here. Yeah. I mean, so there was one up top, but there was another that I just did not see that whole time.
Because you're focused on those two. I don't know. If you play anything like I do, I don't always look all around. Sometimes I just focus on the flippers and use my peripheral vision to wait for the ball to come into frame.
I'll tell you, sometimes because there's so much going on, you have to.
Right.
If you start trying to keep up with the ball, you'll lose it down the middle or whatever because it's just too much.
It's disappearing.
The Plants table also it's strategically designed so that any ball that comes back hits the bumper on the opposite side and shoots it across every time before. And sometimes if I'm really in the moment and I've got like a pretty good score going on that ball, I'll panic a little bit and I'll just smack both flippers, which will toss it right up and then it'll go right down the middle. Because if it's coming on the left, you have to use the right because it's gonna slam it over there.
Right.
Almost all the time, like 9 out of 10, it's shooting to the other side. So, if I get hung up in the moment, sometimes I can just panic flip. But that's a great game.
I panic flip a lot, so
yeah, me too. It's a fun game though, and I'd like to get back to trying to beat each other's scores.
Yeah,
because it's a lot of fun.
I enjoy Zen Pinball.
Are you on the view that like chases the ball, or where you show the whole table, or do you not fuck with the view?
I don't fuck with the view.
Yeah, see, I play on view 1 too, which is where it starts you.
Mm-hmm, that's where I play.
There's like a zoomed in one where you can't see the flippers, which is what I like to call death mode.
Yeah, that's
for me.
That's uber challenging mode right there.
It shows you where the ball is, and it makes those other flippers up there easier to use. But the ones at the bottom, if it's coming down fast, I can pretty much just guarantee that I'm done.
I like view 1 because it's pulled away from the table, almost like you're standing at the table.
Yeah,
is what I like. So
yeah, that's the one I play on most of the time. There's actually one that's zoomed out even more, but then I have a hard time keeping up with the ball.
Seeing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, shout out to those guys for just loving pinball and doing pretty much exclusively that.
And knocking it out of the park, man.
Yeah. Now that I remember I had the VR one, I really want to play it. I kind of forgot about it.
It's good you remember. You need to play it.
Yeah,
I would say stream it, but
I'll take notes, and then I'll get on here.
And then you'll talk about them?
I'll read you my thoughts real time. It'll be like a live stream.
That seems fun.
Yeah, that's what you do when you don't have internet.
It's funny. It's funny about you not having internet is because I don't know if you're being real or you're just like or you really feel this way. But every time I text you about it, hey, have you heard anything about internet? No. And then you're telling me it's not that bad. I kind of like it. Is that true?
Not. Yeah. So I'm of like two very different places with not having internet. Because I also don't have TV right now.
Are you like bipolar with it?
Sort of. So like at night, I really want to play with everybody. Like I miss that.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I get most of my interaction. Like if I don't play with you guys, we don't talk that much. We're all working and shit.
Right.
So I miss that. So at night, I'm like, man, I wish I could jump on with everybody. But like when I come home and I eat dinner and the house is kind of quiet, like it's kind of nice.
Okay.
It's kind of nice to not have all the distraction and always something on and just. Now, I'll tell you what's hurting more than maybe being able to play online is not having my Echo. I am not a fan of going back to this lifestyle, like pre-Amazon Echo. Like, weather, do this, turn this light on, like, I feel like I jumped back 10 years.
You did.
Like, when I don't have something, I'm like, yeah.
No, I was just wondering if you were being honest, if you're doing like that jealousy thing where he's like, well, he's got internet, but I don't have it, but it's not that bad.
I don't even care about internet. No, it's not like that. Internet's overrated. I mean, obviously I want to get it back, and I should have it this week.
Oh, cool.
But it's not the end of the world like I thought it was going to be.
Right.
The most inconvenient thing, to be honest, is that it's hard for me to do stuff for the show and get it ready, and like that's been the hardest thing because I like to check and make sure things are good several times a week, and now it's like, well, I got to go somewhere where I can get internet. I don't want to be at Starbucks mixing this or anything. So that's been the most frustrating part is not being able to, make sure everything's good with this. I know YouTube went up a little slower this last week just because of that. So we're keeping up, but just not quite as fast. But that should go back to normal this next week.
Soon.
I'm being told by the 23rd, but that's not been confirmed.
Oh.
So I was allowed to pick dates. That was the first date that I picked. So
was that the first available date?
Yes. Going on 2.5 weeks. It was the first available date.
I thought maybe. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yep, so that's the thing.
By the way, I want to give you a shout out for sporting the Ron John Surf Shop.
Yeah.
Talk about stepping back 10 years.
Yep. Cocoa Beach, Florida. I like Ron John's.
Okay, good.
When I went in there, I thought, what a great store if you steal things.
Right.
Because it's like 2 stories and everything fit in your pocket that was in that store.
Yeah.
Because everything is like magnets and coasters and just shit that says Ron John on it. I'm like, what a great place to take shit. I'm not a thief, so I paid for the shirt.
Right. Which, kudos to you.
Yeah.
It's one of the
last thing I want to get caught doing is taking a $15 shirt.
It's one of the things I dig about you is that you're not a thief.
Right. Something I've worked my whole life, not stealing shit.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard work.
Everything's so expensive, though. It's because people keep taking it. It drives the price up. But yeah, it's so this shirt's like 4 years old. It's not at 10 years old like you want it to be.
Oh, I haven't seen a Ron. There was a time like 10 years ago, Ron John was everywhere.
Now, here's another fun fact. You can't see this. I know you're upset about these jeans I'm wearing.
I can't see the jeans either.
Right, but like the crotch area, like under the zipper section, I was totally like blown out.
I'm glad I don't see it then.
But here's my question. There's no way to see it unless you're like between my legs.
Mm-hmm.
You think these are still fine to like wear places?
It depends on the size of the hole.
Because I'll be honest, I like the extra draft.
It depends on the size of the hole.
It's only viewable if you're like on the ground looking up. I'm going to say probably 2 inches long.
You can't see it from the back either.
No.
I think you should be okay.
Yeah, I think these got probably 2-3 more years in them.
Your homeless chic look. Yeah.
Well, these are... So I have 2 pair of jeans that I wear to like do things like around the house. Like if I'm going outside and I'm going to get dirty or have to do something, like I mow in these.
Okay.
Like they're not my Sunday best, as some people say here in the Bible Belt.
They're not my church clothes.
Right. Yeah. Right. They're just some jeans that I throw on when I'm going to go outside and do something. Like I'm going to wash the car after the podcast. Like they're good wash the car.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
I wonder if others feel that way.
Maybe not go to a nice sit-down restaurant. Or any sit-down restaurant.
I mean, my money's still green, though. Why does it matter? You can't see my junk. I mean, worst case, you see boxers.
Well, that depends on... Yeah, which is weird in its own way.
How's that different than somebody wearing, like, basketball shorts with nothing under?
It depends on the size of the hole in the basketball shorts, I suppose.
I'm saying no hole, but you're commando in a pair of
basketball shorts are usually a little longer, so that's not going to happen unless you're just sitting there in the chair like that, eating.
If you can see, right. Your chances of seeing someone's junk in basketball shorts with no boxers are 10 times higher than seeing mine in full boxers with these ripped jeans.
Your junk, yeah, but underwear's weird for people. I mean, I don't care, but it depends on the length of the tablecloth, I guess.
But a 2-piece swimsuit for ladies is pretty much just underwear.
Well, different material, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just underwear, though.
Yeah, but I understand. It's not. It's a bikini. It's a swimsuit, but yeah.
You could probably wear, like, one in public and be fine, but the other will get the cops called on you.
Well, if you're a girl?
Yeah. I can't wear either one in public without getting the cops called on. I've tried. But yeah, if you're a lady and you put on your bra and panties and go out, someone's probably gonna be like, "What are you doing?" But if you're just in a swimsuit outside your house, no one cares.
It depends.
You can just be in a swimsuit.
No, I agree. It's that's probably true.
But they're the same thing.
They're not the same thing. They cover the same parts.
Well, they shape the same. They're cut the same in most cases.
But
it's just different material.
It's different material, and it has a different...
But if I go out in a denim banana hammock, it's still just as unacceptable as a spandex one. Maybe even more so.
Yeah, but you're not going to get arrested for it. I mean, it's perfectly acceptable to wear.
Is it? Is it perfectly acceptable to wear a denim banana hammock out
by society standards, it's not... Nothing bad can happen to you. There can be no... Other than the judgments of others for
right,
what are you wearing.
It's being gross, right? I
right. Exactly. I was trying to put a little nicer than that,
right.
But
there's no law against. I guess the problem is where it is inappropriate. Where do we draw the line with inappropriate?
I don't know. It's probably an individual thing. I don't think there's because I don't care if you go out with a massive hole in your jeans. I could give a shit.
Right.
But there will be somebody that offends me incredibly.
Right, I saw your Hey Arnold boxers, and now I'm feeling some sort of way.
Right.
Because I made it about me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I don't like it.
And I don't even know in that case if it's the Hey Arnold or the boxers part that offends them. I mean, it could be either.
No one doesn't like Hey Arnold.
There's somebody out there who doesn't like.
Yeah, the same person who doesn't like fun. Anti-fun. Let's jump into some news. So I'm gonna tie with my weekend to this first story. I got my Sea of Thieves controller in. Woo, doctor, this thing is nice. I should have brought it so I can hold it up for you right now. It looks really good, though.
I'm really glad you didn't.
There's some missed opportunities with it in that. So I didn't realize the case for the controller is actually like semi-transparent, like translucent. Like the purple and stuff, you can actually see through the controller a little bit. Which is neat. And it's got places where...
It's like a jellyfish.
Yeah, sort of. But the purple is dark enough you don't like see the circuit boards or anything like that. But it's got like where it has like the barnacles on it. It would have been super rad if they made those light up.
Are they textured?
Yes, and they're clear. If those things lit up, it might be the best controller ever made. It's pretty close as it is, looks-wise. It's still an Xbox controller. Shout out to the DualShock 4. But it looks really, really good. And if they'd have made it light up, it'd maybe just totally take the cake. It has the skull in there. It does glow in the dark, all the green parts, the teal parts, the ocean spray. That's pretty cool.
That's probably why there's no lights, because of the glow in the dark.
Just go all out.
Oh, then it costs even more.
I mean, it was already like $80. It's not like they were giving them away. I think they charged enough they could have popped some lights in. But it's a really cool looking controller. It's got the 1 gold trigger, which is awesome, and it does come with DLC for the game. Mm-hmm. It comes with a special costume that I'm excited to go pirating around in. That controller is awesome. Anyway, so that ties into our first story. There's been
speaking of costumes,
a lot of scuttlebutt on the internet about what franchises we're going to see in Sea of Thieves. We're going to see Pirates of the Caribbean. We're going to see Hook. We're going to see everything pirate related.
I can tell you
World tie-in.
I can tell you what we're going to see.
Okay.
Nothing. None. No tie-ins.
Nada. On Twitter, Rare wrote, "We won't be adding anything specific to other IPs. However, you can rest assured that we will have a heavy dose of pirate goodness every time you play Sea of Thieves." Where do you land on this?
That stuff's cool. It's never been a reason for me to play a game. The DeLorean's cool in
Rocket League.
In Rocket League. The Batmobile's cool. I don't need it to enjoy that game. When they announced, hey, we're going to do this, awesome. But it doesn't bother me that they're saying we're not going to do this. I don't know. The way the game's supposed to be, I don't know if that stuff is a good idea. That kind of takes the personalization out of it.
Well, I didn't want you to be able to play as Captain Jack Sparrow. What I wanted was like some quest or something where you met up with him. Like, I thought it would be cool if they incorporated some of the pirate stuff, some of your favorite pirates, in just quests that you were doing with your buddies and everybody else. Like, you just...
Yeah, no, I don't think
it doesn't have to change the game at all. They could have just incorporated those NPCs, and I think it would have been neat to get to see them.
Yeah, but I think that takes away from... I think that would take away from... This game sounds like it's supposed to be very customizable to you and how you want to play it. And those kind of things, when you add in other worlds, because of it's not a big deal in Rocket League because it's just a car. It's strictly cosmetic. When you start adding in all these other worlds, it kind of takes you out of the world that you've created.
See, well, you're not creating a world, I guess, for me. So I would just think, I don't want people to play as Jack Sparrow because there'd be a million of them. But if we were on a boat and we just happened upon an island, and there was a liquored up on rum Jack Sparrow that was like, "Hey, I lost something. Can you go find this?" It might be more interesting than running the same quest over and over, which is a concern for me with this game. They could have just switched it up with some of these popular characters that I think, as long as they were in small doses, it would pull you out too much for me.
Yeah, but that's licensing. That's a lot of licensing.
It is, but I mean, there's 4 or 5 pirate things that I think most people would say, "Hey, this could be fun to bring over." I just hate when they say we're not doing this. Like, why rule it out? Like, right now we're focused on pirating. To me, it'd be like if you're playing Diablo 3 and they're like, "Oh yeah, and now you're going to have Sam and Dean Winchester give you a quest." Yeah, that takes me out of that world. See, I think anything like that's fine. Like, if I'm playing a game and they can tie in or even make it pay DLC where I could go on some Jack Sparrow quests, like, to me though, that would be fun.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me.
And I would pay for that too.
I would not pay for that.
Because my concern is that it's going to get very grindy. Like, if Fortnite would do some tie-ins with some things that I cared about, it would make me want to play the single-player Save the World mode a lot more. Because I know right now every quest is exactly the same thing. Because I played 80 hours of the same exact thing. So if they could do some tie-ins, even if I just got to see different dialogue with characters I love in that world, that would bring me back to that.
Yeah, those things don't do much for me.
Yeah, see, I like that kind of thing. I like to see, and Epic's got enough of a stable that they could easily do some things and bring on. I don't want Sea of Thieves to go into the Pirates of the Caribbean,
the game
world. I want that world to come into Sea of Thieves. By that world, I mean just a couple characters. I think is fun, but it's not happening.
Yeah, and I don't need it. I'm actually glad it's not happening.
This game's gonna be real grindy.
That don't bother me a bit. I don't mind grinding.
I just think I wouldn't rule it out. I think there was maybe some opportunity to incorporate them down the road. So maybe they'll change their mind.
Unnecessary. Don't do it, Rare.
You say that now, but when you run the same quest 150 times in a row, you might be like, you know what? I take a little Jack. Take a little Captain Jack.
Dude, I love the Division.
Take a little Captain Jack in my life.
Same thing. I don't need Captain Jack in my life.
It's a great character.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of thing in my games. That's not what I look for. So it's.
I love tie-ins.
The thing is, I guess I don't need to tell them don't do it. I don't care either way. I'll play the game. I don't need it. I don't not need it. I just whatever you do, you do. But in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to keep me from playing it. I've been down for this game for.
But like licensed DLC has never been a thing for me. It's cool when they do it. Other than that, I probably don't think of it. If they wouldn't announce this, I would have never thought of it.
Well, yeah, it's been tough to ignore because it's everywhere with people asking. Which anything that brings more people to the game, especially a game where you want a giant world, I think is helpful. I just, who knows what'll come of it? But
I don't know. I think those kinds of things are kind of gimmicky.
Yeah, gimmicks are good.
I don't like gimmicks.
Nintendo's built a fucking empire on gimmicks.
I understand. They built half an empire because they failed the other half of the time.
They're about to build a cardboard empire from everything.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently Labo is really good.
Apparently it is. That's what I hear.
So that's interesting.
I stand by the fact that the more we hear about it, the more Nintendo appears to have thought it through.
I'll tell you, they've got this new video out, which we're not really going to jump into too much, where they're showing how things work and the way you can do different things. See, it looks pretty good, and all the people who've gone to all these early access events are like, it's pretty neat. Fucking awesome.
It's pretty neat.
So, I don't know. I just think there was cool ways to incorporate other pirates, and I wish they wouldn't say absolutely not. Which I know they didn't say it'll always be no, but they just said they don't have any tie-ins planned.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Which I get with pirates. Disney's expensive, but you probably could have done some other stuff.
Well, let's see. Hook was Disney.
Mm-hmm. You could do some inspired by situations, though. I guarantee you can make yourself look like Jack Sparrow.
Possibly.
I guarantee you there's a hairstyle with a bandana.
Probably. You're probably right.
Yeah. You can look like that, I'm sure. And they'll be everywhere. I think I want to make a chubby pirate. I've been thinking about it a little bit.
Then go for it.
Maybe a little chubby. Maybe when you see him, you're like, this guy's not a pirate. But he is.
He's a big old fat pirate.
Not fat, just chubby. Like he ain't skipping meals. Next story. This is a feel good story.
It is. This is a nice little feel good story. I like this one.
I punched my microphone. Did you hear that?
I did.
I had an itch and I just punched the mic.
I thought maybe you headbutted it.
No, I punched it for some reason. I just got excited about this story and punched the mic. You're welcome, everybody. I'm going to leave that in for you.
This nice little feel-good story made you punch something. What the fuck?
You never punch anything out of joy?
No.
They're like tears of joy.
No, it's different. No, that's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It's like tears of joy, but you just go punching holes in walls and whatnot.
No.
Good day at work. Come on, put a hole right in the wall.
No, beatings of joy are not a thing.
Yeah, you can punch a wall anytime. Firewatch creators got a nice 2-year anniversary gift over the weekend. A heartwarming story about how the game led a real-life teenager into the world of watchtowers, Firewatch towers.
Specifically historic
watchtowers. Jack, a 14-year-old from Massachusetts, struck a touching note. Yeah, I don't like how that's written. Anyways, he wrote something on a thread, but basically he played Firewatch February 2016, and he fell in love with fire towers and decided to do some research, and it led to him pursuing the interest so much so that he joined the Forest Fire Lookout Association.
That's a national organization that's dedicated to the preservation of old fire tower sites. Many of them have fallen into disrepair. They face demolition. Not a lot of local efforts to save them. Well, this Forest Fire Lookout Association is kind of like a fire tower historical society. They go around to all these different locations to try to save them, keep them preserved as part of the history of the National Forest Service, because they obviously, for obvious reasons, they don't get used anymore. You don't really use fire towers to spot fires anymore. You've got internet, infrared, planes, drones. Yeah. So they're not really used anymore. So, and a lot of them are just in disarray. And he just loved the game so much that he has joined this group and is now involved in the historical preservation and restoration of fire towers across the nation.
I might be making this part up. He's the youngest member.
He is the youngest member.
Okay, yeah.
He is the youngest member at 14. It should also be noted that since he played it, he has visited over 140 sites throughout the United States.
Which, if you asked this guy before this story, I'd say that's about all of them. If you said how many fire towers are left, I'd be like, I don't know, 140, 150.
I would say there's more than that because I know of a bunch.
Well, clearly there's more than that because he visited that many already. But like in this area, I can think of like one, and it's not there anymore.
Yeah, but I bet if you get down to into the Smoky Mountains, you'll and we're to actually look, there's probably a lot more. So it just goes to show you, the reason the story's on here is because it's a feel-good story. It's video games can change people's lives for the better. And this is an example of that. This kid was so drawn in by this game, Campo Santos, Firewatch, that it struck him in such a way that he went out and made a real-world decision to now help save these fire towers, all because of the emotional resonance he felt playing this game. It's a great story. It's wonderful. This is the kind of things we like to see video games do.
These are the stories that a lot of times don't get written.
Exactly. Or don't get heard.
Right, because people are like, well, yeah. I mean, it's supposed to make you feel. You know, games can give you the feels in a good way.
Yeah, they can. And they can be mediums of positive change.
What's that movie? The Forest Fire. The only brave, we brave few. It's the one that's like out now.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but
yeah,
no. I think it's Only the Brave or something. Yeah.
So I watched that movie, and then took like a deep dive after that movie into like all of that, reading all about it and everything.
Yeah.
Not so much so that I'm like, I'm going to go do that, but I mean, I'm somebody who can totally understand like falling down a rabbit hole of just really getting into something like that after you play it or watch it or something like that. Just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to know more about it. So after I watched the movie, I read a lot of the stories written back then that happened surrounding all that to see kind of what was played up for the movie and all that.
Yeah, what really was involved with that kind of thing.
Right. I think the movie walks a pretty close line to it, but there's obviously some differences if you read. But yeah, I can see how it wouldn't. And I played a little Firewatch on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Gamestitch, for our back catalog, one of our Patreon goals that we had.
Yep.
And I could see how it would be very easy to fall in love with that time and place. It's super cool when you're up in the tower
and you're looking around.
Everything. Yeah.
And then you look out and you spot a fire.
Yeah, it's cool. So I could see especially as someone that's younger, falling in love with that. Because when you're young, you're not jaded. The world's not this cold, dark place yet.
Right. You still have a heart. It hasn't turned to black yet.
Right. You haven't given up on your dreams yet. So
yes. Yeah.
It's neat to see that. So now we'll go to the other side of video games, or at least the one that people like to talk about
the most.
Right. So a Kentucky governor, close to my heart here. Mm-hmm. Not this guy, but the location.
Yeah, I know.
Matt Bevin, or Bevin. I like to think Bevin, though. When asked about school shootings, said that violent video games are partially responsible for mass shootings, like this week's in Parkland.
I believe the actual quote was, "Guns are not the problem. We have a cultural problem in America." He also went on to cite other factors he believed to be responsible, including mental illness, the side effects of prescribed medications. Pointed to American society having lost its moral compass before arriving at violent video games and the culture of death he believes they help celebrate. And he goes on to say there are video games that, yes, are listed for mature audiences, but kids play them and everybody knows it. And there's nothing to prevent the kid from playing them. They celebrate the slaughtering of people. There are games that literally replicate and give people the ability to score points for doing this very same thing that these students are doing inside of schools, where you get extra points for finishing someone off who's lying there begging for their life. And then he goes on to say other stuff about how they've been protected as free speech, and he doesn't believe it should be that way. They desensitize people to the value of human life, so on and so forth. So you get the gist of what Governor Matt Bevin has said.
Before we talk any more about it, I want to make sure everyone knows that we're separating what he said and the events that happened.
Yes.
Obviously, what happened is terrible. We're not going to talk about that, but I do want to talk about his thoughts and where you side, because obviously, as someone who plays a lot of video games, I have. Right. There's some things that immediately jump out as that's not right, and there's some things that jump out as I guess I can see where you're coming from when I hear that.
Well, for one thing,
you're probably going to start where I would start,
with the fact that I don't know of any video game that is called where you do that exact same thing.
No. So the problem I have is there's nothing to keep kids from playing. They're called parents.
Oh yeah.
So I hope I just blew.
You went a lot
his
further.
Mind, right?
Yeah.
Hope I blew his mind with that comment. There's nothing in place to keep kids from playing those games. They're parents.
Yeah, and here's another thing that I don't like. There are he says here, there are video games that, yes, are listed for mature audiences, but kids play them and everybody knows it, and there's nothing to, and everybody knows it. You could say that about everything that you don't like. Because basically what this seems to say is, it is what it is. Which is a shit attitude to take about anything. Particularly something that you're trying to speak of that has devastating consequences. I think there's a larger issue here than just... We're so quick to... I understand the need to want to find someone or something to blame. To lay the blame on and say, fix that and everything will be okay. The problem you have here is... Yes, violence in video games is one factor, I'm sure, for some. But this is a long, drawn-out, large, giant equation with a number of factors. And all the factors have to be included in your algorithm for success. You can't just say, well, okay, we'll change this denomination. It's just like a math problem. If you change one number, you've got to change everything in order to make the equation work.
I just think video games is an easy finger to point.
I do too.
It's easy to say, and they don't just. It's not exclusive to video games. That's where he listed a couple other things, but I mean you can go back to some of these tragedies that have happened, and it was music,
or it was we've seen movies. We've seen books,
right? So yeah, can you play games like this? Can you play a game in a manner? In which you kill a lot of people? Yeah, you can. Are there games that reward you for shooting someone or not shooting someone? Yeah, that exists too. There are decisions to be made in games. But me personally, I find it very hard to believe that anyone just plays a game with no other influences and then says, I'm going to go do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in a certain sense, you can use certain statistics. You can use certain statistics against people. And this is one of those cases. Like I said, I understand the thing to blame, and just one is too many. But I've heard a lot of arguments. I listen to a lot of talk radio and that kind of stuff. And I've heard a lot of arguments about how these types of incidents, while devastating, they don't account for as much of the death in the United States as one would be led to believe. If that's the case, then if you've stated that statistic, then saying that violent video games is a cause of this, well, that statistic's going to be even less. So you can't make those arguments and then not understand how they don't mesh together. We've got to look. Video games are maybe one thing to look at. But there are a number of other things you look at, and it's in any situation where we're looking for something to blame it. Regardless, we have to be a little bit more even keeled and use a little bit more of our thought process to come together and have a healthy discourse and look at all the different issues, not just one.
Yeah, I think it's okay to investigate, to learn, to figure out why something happened before you speak on it. Because I just don't think, especially this guy. No, I don't have any problem with this guy. I'm in Tennessee. We're bordering states. There's no way he has all the facts.
No.
In Kentucky, where it didn't happen.
There was one. They did have one this year, though.
Yeah, they had one in Benton, Kentucky. Different situation, though, and he's speaking specifically the one in Florida.
Yes.
It's easy to point fingers at mental illness or video games or music or parenting or whatever you want to point it at. Those are easy targets. But I just think that it's okay to take a breath before you go public and speak about something.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to think before you talk. I know people love to get that soundbite. This guy's in all the news because of it, so I get it.
He is. And again, it comes down to that reaction to. It's a human reaction to want to find a problem and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
In order to hear the. So what we're doing is this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. The real problem is that it's not just that. It's not just that, and it's not just that.
Right.
There's a whole gamut of things we have to step back and look at and have a discussion about.
And I would say that, and I alluded to it a little bit earlier, I would say in almost all cases, there are things that led these people to do what they ultimately do. Mm-hmm. There's not there's singular thing.
Exactly.
I'm sure that somewhere in history, one thing has happened and caused someone to do something. But in most cases, there is a list of things.
There's a whole amalgamation of factors that have brought somebody to that conclusion.
Right, and as easy it is to grab the low-hanging fruit and accuse those things, I just don't think it's helpful. I think the thing that's best for me in the way that I try to process things like these are to get all the information.
I do too. Yes.
To try to figure it out. But again, this is something that's hard to talk about, and we're trying to separate the event from this comment because, that was something that was carried out by someone who was definitely sees the world differently than you or I.
Yes.
So
no doubt.
Our thoughts are with the families down there. It's a bad deal, and there's already been, I think, 18 school shootings this year.
And that's a skewed statistic, but yes.
Well, it's anything where a weapon is fired at.
Anytime a gun went off at a school is 18. Right. Yes, there have actually been 3 of these type of.
Yeah. I know someone dropped a backpack off a desk and it actually shot someone.
Someone did have yes.
I saw that in the news. But anytime something like this happens, it's any kind of loss of life is always
it's always horrible.
Yeah.
Not just in all losses of life are horrible in any situation.
Yeah.
It's important to note that too. I realize that a lot of times in the news or talk radio, whatever we watch, a lot of times it's only these types of things that we hear about. But anytime anyone loses a life, it's a horrible, tragic situation.
Yeah, I agree. So, if you want to let us know your thoughts on it, please try to keep it to the comments that were made by
Governor Bevin,
and
as opposed to that issue itself. We are not a political podcast.
Yeah, we don't want to get into gun control or things like that. That's what Facebook's for.
Oh, yes.
Go do that over there. But as it pertains to games, we did want to speak about that.
No, just the comments concerning video games is where our concern lies.
So we Oreo'd this story with some feel-good stories.
I don't know if this is a feel-good story, but you know what I like about this is Nintendo either screws up royally or hits it out of the park. It's
accountability though.
Well, Nintendo. Let's compare them to baseball. They either strike out or hit a home run. Historically,
they swing for the fences every time.
But what I like here is, you know what? They got a double.
Yeah. So Bayonetta 2 came out on Switch, and so Bayonetta is amazing. This game's getting 10s everywhere again.
Yeah, apparently Bayonetta 2 is phenomenal. I've heard some say this can't stay on the Switch. This needs to move to other platforms.
Well, it stayed on the Wii U, so it could definitely stay on the Switch.
Well, Bayonetta came out on other...
Yeah, Bayonetta 2 was exclusive to the Wii U.
Bayonetta 2 did that. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So Bayonetta 2 came out, and if you purchase Bayonetta 2, it comes with the first Bayonetta. So you get the physical copy of Bayonetta 2 and a digital copy for the first Bayonetta. A digital download, some people call it.
Allegedly.
But after some players began receiving their copies from various retailers, a few were greeted with an error message when they attempted to download Bayonetta 1. Of course, threads everywhere started popping up. Reddit started going crazy.
Yep.
Some people started calling Nintendo, and it seems that some of these codes were no good.
Yeah. Codes that didn't work got sent out for Bayonetta 1 by Nintendo.
So much so that Nintendo felt the need to acknowledge it on their Twitter account. And they said, included with the purchase of the physical copy of Bayonetta 2 is a download code for Bayonetta 1. Nintendo tweeted late Friday a small number of those codes were printed incorrectly. If you're experiencing issues, they give you a site to go to. Here's why I think this is a feel-good story.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this doesn't happen more.
With download codes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As many download codes as go out.
Every time. For some reason, I've never had a problem. Every time I enter one in, I feel like it's a 50-50 shot I'm taking.
Me too. Like, I type it, I read it before I even hit enter, like over and over, because I'm expecting it not to work, even though it always works.
Yeah, me too. So, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm shocked that I call it a feel-good story because I'm blown away. It doesn't happen more. And also, Nintendo's like, whoops. Like, those are no good, actually, right?
We may have made a mistake or two. It's important to note that it does seem that this falls on Nintendo's shoulders because regardless of the retailer, this experience was issued. Some from Amazon, some from Best Buy, some from GameStop, some from Walmart. It wasn't specific to any shipment that a retailer received. So I think that's important to note that Nintendo knows that Nintendo screwed this up.
Nintendo does what Nintendo don't. They messed up and they're like, whoops, here you go. So from what I read, people are getting their codes really quickly once they go on.
I've heard that they've spent, at first they were spending long times on the phone, up to 3 hours, but since it has kind of, Nintendo has jumped on top of the problem, is getting them quicker, and people are getting their codes relatively quickly now.
Yeah. Like I said, you can go to support.nintendo.com if you don't want to call somebody. Or you can still call, wait on hold, and give that guy that didn't do it an earful.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your thing, too. But I don't know. I just think it's funny that this doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Like, can you imagine getting, like, Picking up a copy of PUBG for the Xbox, going home, typing in and not working.
Like I said, I feel like it's going to happen every time. So,
yeah. And you can still play Bayonetta 2 while you wait.
True.
It's not the end of the world.
You do have that going for you, which is nice.
Another feel-good story here. Overwatch League, which is apparently taking esports
to new heights.
Yeah. People are loving this Overwatch League.
Into the stratosphere.
Yeah, people are really liking it. So, but the Overwatch League, the Shanghai Dragons announced last week that they have signed the first Overwatch League female player.
Yes, they have. 19-year-old pro player Kim Guguri Seyon. She's going to be the first woman to play in the league for the Shanghai Dragons. The Dragons confirmed that she was one of 4 new players joining the team, which has struggled in Overwatch League's first season. I think they went 0-something. 0-10. 0-10 they went.
Which is not how you want to start.
No, that's generally considered a losing record.
Yeah. She is someone well known to the Overwatch community. So for anyone out there who's like, well, they're just doing this so that they're relevant. First off, fuck you. And second of all, she's well known in the Overwatch community. Yeah, and
this is just like anything else. You don't get to play there unless you can earn your spot and keep your spot.
Right.
This is a league. This is a sports league.
Yeah, for those that weren't around when we talked about the original story, these people are paid a salary.
Yes. This is their job.
Is costing people money to have these leagues. So if you think the billionaires aren't taking their money serious, you're out of your mind. That's why they're billionaires. So
yeah, like the owner of New England Patriots type
Robert
of
Kraft,
Robert Kraft, billionaires.
So very cool to see Overwatch League opening up. I've talked a lot about diversity in the past, and I don't like diversity for diversity's sake, but I love real diversity where it works.
Yep.
And I think this is an example of it, and I hope, first off, I hope they don't go 0-10, because that sucks for anybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Cleveland Browns for not ever winning. But also, I hope that she finds success and that it breaks that cookie-cutter mentality with some people on who can play games.
And even more so than possibly individual success, I hope that she is a dominating, well, maybe not dominating, but an important factor in the success of her team.
Right. The good news is, even if they had signed me, only up. That's the only way you can go.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. No combination of people could possibly be worse. No offense to the people who are on that team, because they didn't win at all. So, also like anyone that switches things up, when things aren't working, make a change.
Yeah,
make a change. I like to see people getting paid to play games too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. As a job.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Like not a tester, like actually playing games as a job.
They get a check for playing games. They have benefits.
Yes.
Everyone in Overwatch League has to be offered benefits.
And they have a 401k plan.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is a great story.
And she's 19. You know what I was doing at 19?
Nothing you can say on this podcast.
There you go. Hoping not to wake up in a gutter. There.
Right. Now, on to the biggest story of the week.
Huge. Right here. Boom.
Huge story.
Huge. It's huge.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be best story ever.
This is not fake news. Hot Wheels is making a real-life Rocket League RC toy set.
I can't wait. I want this so bad.
Give it a second. Just let it drip over you right now.
It's like honey.
Yeah. Hot Wheels is teaming up with Psyonix to bring a Rocket League toy set to life. It's called Hot Wheels Rocket League RC Rival Set. The name could use a little work, but I'll let it slide.
Yeah, good Lord, that's a lot to say. Try to write that on your Christmas list, 6-year-old.
It will feature a Bluetooth-enabled Octane and Dominus. Those are the cars, if you're not familiar. An arena, complete with an LCD scoreboard. Stick with me here. A ball with an IR device embedded to keep track of the score. So this is not just like 2 RC cars and 2 goals that you push it in. Like,
no, this is an arena, man.
It's smart. Like, it's a smart device. Like, it knows where the ball's at. It knows when it crosses the line. It comes with an arena. In addition, it also comes with some DLC for Rocket League, which is how they screw me on everything.
Old Jeremy Dunham, Vice President of Publishing for Psyonix, says, "That's just the beginning of what we have planned. You can expect to see some really, really cool things come out of our new Hot Wheels alliance."
I'll tell you, this story here gets me so excited that the rip in the pants is a little bigger.
I'll tell you what I like. I like that he called it an alliance.
Uh-huh.
Because that is the word that says shit's getting done right there.
and on the toy side of thing, Mattel and Hot Wheels may be no more powerful brand than that.
Oh, yeah.
So they've already had the Hot Wheels DLC in the game.
Yep.
Or at least part of a free update. Well, so the toppers and stuff were part of the update. The other part you had to buy.
You had to buy the cars, yes.
Yeah, the twin mill, which they call something different, and the bone shaker.
Bone shaker.
So, obviously you think this is cool. I think this is cool. But let me run this by you.
Okay.
I'm seeing online that this set is going to retail for $180.
Oh, how big is it?
So have you seen those overdrive things? Like it's like a car thing that you set the track up?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be very similar to that.
I need to know how big I need to know how big the cars are and how big the arena is.
I think the cars are going to be similar to that size. There's a lot of technology in those cars, yeah.
And that's what, at about 3-4 inches?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think about 3 inches.
If that's the case, then your arena has to be roughly 3.5 feet long by probably 28 to 30 inches wide.
It's going to be cool. But that's expensive.
It is, yeah. But for that, I'm in.
It can't be junk, I guess, is where I'm at.
It can't be junk.
And if they sell the other cars, doctor, paycheck, just take it.
Well, here's what they can't do. They have to make sure. My biggest concern with this, and this is going to sound stupid, but my biggest concern is scale.
Right. It's got to look right.
I don't need giant cars on this rinky-dink arena. I need it to be like I'm playing. I need the same scale that I play with on my video game.
Here's why it's not a rinky-dink arena, because it's got a fucking LCD screen mounted to it somewhere.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's...
What I'm saying is it's not cardboard with a screen mounted to it. Like, this thing has some substance.
Right, but let's say you have just a Hot Wheel size car. Just a regular Hot Wheel size car. If you've got an 18-inch freaking arena, that's still not big enough.
Right.
If you've got a bigger car, you need to be thinking even bigger. So it's got to be huge. This thing's going to have to be to scale, or it's going to be dumb to me. That's my biggest concern. Is it needs to be It needs to almost be 1-to-1 to me playing it in a video game.
So I've also read some things online. If you're one of these people who just immediately attack something because you don't like it, I don't like you. I see lots of people that are like, "How do you jump?" Okay, well, it's not 1-to-1. Okay, you can't fly in them.
That's not what I meant. You know what I meant when I said scale,
I know, but I'm seeing a lot of people who are saying,
"Oh, I can't boost. I can't fly."
Here's the thing. I think you're going to be able to boost. There are boost pads on the board, and because the cars are Bluetooth, like I know on those Overdrive or whatever those things are called, those cars that they sell, they're you use those and you can shoot like on the screen. You can like shoot missiles at each other, and the car will actually spin out or whatever, like the other car that you hit. And I think they have a turbo. When you hit it, the car goes faster. I can see that working. I could see it keeping track of your boost levels as you drive past them, and the car's going faster. Or maybe you just have unlimited and you can touch a button and make it go faster. Because you're controlling it on your phone. They're Bluetooth devices. But
I'm wondering if... It doesn't look like they have as many as they have. I wonder if you just boost when you go over them.
Could be that too. But that would be crazy too, because you're like, I don't want to boost right now. This is cool. If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Now, again, time will tell. That's a lot of money to spend. But if it's cool, what if you... So it's no different than like having buddies come over and playing. If you have air hockey or ping pong or foosball, like if you just like all gather around and play some Rocket League, that's pretty badass.
What if it's the size of a ping pong table?
It won't be that big. Because then
what if it is though?
I could see it being big. Like, I could see it being large. Like, you have to put it, like, on the dinner table.
Yeah, I think it has to be big.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if it came with its own, like, table, like a flip-down ping pong table.
I wish it had a dome, too. Like a plastic dome that went over it. Like, you had to watch through the dome.
So you could drive up the side and fall and break your car?
That's just like real Rocket League.
No, your car doesn't break.
So, you know, they have those cars that use air to, like, drive up walls and stuff?
Yes, I do.
I don't need all that, but I just think it'd be cool to have a dome. A slightly ramped surface for the edges as it rolls up so that the ball could roll up on the wall and come down. Either way, I like this. Also, smart decision to include the Dominus.
Well, I know, yeah. I wonder why the Dominus. Probably because it's such a different playing card than the Octane.
Yeah, and I think it is very, very popular. It's going to have a charging base.
I mean, I know the Octane is popular. I know why the Octane's on there. No Reaper. I'm a little let down by that. No Reaper.
We knew there'd be no Reaper.
No Takumi.
I could see the Takumi, but I think part of this alliance has to be that they're going to sell the cars.
I sure hope so.
There's got to be some residual income. So they sell this for $180 if the reports we're reading or that I've read are right. Cars probably cost anywhere from $20 to $40 for each additional car. Because you don't need all the cars, you need your favorite car.
What if you get to playing 4x4 Chaos on it? Once they have enough cars.
I don't see why you couldn't. Cars everywhere inside there. And the beauty of the game is it doesn't care who scores the goal. If it goes in, you get a point, just like real Rocket League.
Right.
Now, it would be too much to ask and also super amazing if the ball said, this is the last car that touched me, because it has that feature in there and could show on the scoreboard like I scored. That would be awesome, but unnecessary. But I immediately take this thing to a place in my mind where it would totally be worth $180, even though it's probably not going to go there.
Yeah, at that point it costs $15 million to make.
Right. Yeah, because the one I'm talking about is a $3,500 table. Yours has got flip out legs on it. What this thing is a piece of plastic that works as a guardrail for these little RC cars to drive through, and it has a screen mounted on a piece of plastic. It's probably like a 3x4 screen that just has 3 to 4 on it. But yeah, I think what we've learned is that there's a market for high end Rocket League table if somebody wants to invest a lot of time and energy.
And money.
Right.
It's gonna be a big investment too.
But maybe then you could form an alliance with Psionics.
Maybe.
It's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. I love that word alliance too. I don't know why. Especially because it's a Rocket League and Hot Wheels and they have an alliance.
Right. Right. I get it. It's not the fucking Avengers.
Because I think I like the Rebel Alliance from Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And here's Hot Wheels and Psionics.
But I think that's the right word to use.
It's the best word to use.
Right, because they get to wear capes when they say that, right?
Right.
Right. Welcome to the alliance, brother. Like, I feel like that's what happened. Like, they did the handshake where you grab each other's, like, forearm.
Yep.
Like when you join the alliance, right?
Like a Predator?
Yeah. That's what I feel like happened here. I'm excited. I will say, the last run of Hot Wheels toys they did were pieces of shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they weren't Hot Wheels, but those little ones that you and I bought, those pullbacks.
Oh, yes.
Those things were cheap. They also have Series 2 coming out, which are keychains. They look like the same model cars, but they have like boost keychains where like the flames are coming out of the back of the car and it goes to a keychain, and I believe that they light up.
That might be better. Maybe they're not so crappy plastic.
No, I think they're exactly the same cars. They just have the keychain attachment.
Because they're like super crappy plastic.
They are super crappy plastic. So
like the plastic in the ball that they come in is better than the plastic that the cars are made out of.
Yeah, they suck.
They look cool.
I also got irritated because GameStop sold that whole set separate after the fact.
All 6 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I sent the picture of that to you, didn't I?
I don't know. I saw it there. You could just go buy them all.
Yeah.
Instead of buying those blind grabs like I did.
For like 20. Yeah, me too. Well, not all of them. I only got 5, but still.
Hot Shot's the only car I don't have.
Really?
Uh-huh. Which at some point I'll probably scoop it up off of eBay or something just to complete the first series.
Right.
But I think I may just try to go online and see if I can't just find the Dominus keychain. let's pay a little extra to get just that one and not fuck around with these others.
Yeah.
But they come with DLC.
Well, of course.
That's how they get me.
That's how they get you.
I don't know. Rocket League, Hot Wheels, Alliance 2018.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's it for the news.
I'm going to do everything in my power to get that table. Just so everyone knows.
I got to see it.
I should say that. I should preface with that, of course. I think I already said that, but yeah.
If it's not total junk, I'm going to have a hard time not spending $180 on it. Like, I sent it to Marshall205, and he responded, "Hell yeah," with an exclamation.
Right.
Like, that's pretty much where I'm at with it, too. Yeah. I'll take one. I believe I will.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
It's pretty cool.
And now, it's time for our oldest, newest segment, Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back into our heyday, pull out a game that you may not remember, but should not be forgotten. This is our Gone But Not Forgotten, and if you have a Gone But Not Forgotten, you can just tweet us, either at Podcast Ryan, at Shirtless Dan, or at Game_Stitch, and give us your game with a hashtag GBNF. And this week it's Ryan's turn.
It is. So I'm definitely not going with the forgotten. So it is gone, but it's not forgotten.
It's
100%.
Gone. That's why it's called Gone But Not Forgotten.
Yeah, this one definitely fits that mold.
Oh, what is it, like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild?
No, it's close. It's gone. Like it's back, but it's not forgotten. My Gone But Not Forgotten for this week is Super Mario Brothers 2. And I'll tell you why. I was at work, and so I don't typically talk about games at work. I like to avoid that at work. Work's one of the few places where I really like to not talk about games.
Right.
Because I don't want someone always trying to talk to me about games, and obviously we don't play the same thing.
Their idea of games are different than your game. Yeah,
I don't play the same thing as anybody, so right.
I get it totally.
So I try to go out of my way to not talk about games at work. Anyways, I'm walking by the break room, and there's two gentlemen over there, and they're talking about video games, and I heard one of them say something about Mario 3. So, it took a little longer to do what I was doing. Just want to see where they were going with it. And the other guy said, "Love Mario 1, love Mario 3. Mario 2 was garbage, and I never played it." And I immediately was like, I'm gonna use that for my Gone But Not Forgotten, because Mario 2, not garbage.
Not garbage.
Not Mario.
Not great.
But not garbage.
Not garbage.
I think most people know at this point that Mario 2, Super Mario USA, was a reskinning of Doki Doki Panic, a game that came out for the Famicom. It's a fine game. It didn't need to be a Mario game.
Right. But they needed them. They were due for a Mario game.
They needed some Mario. We call that a money grab, or the money shot.
Yes.
So I don't hate Mario 2. I actually think Mario 2 is interesting. It makes no sense in the canon of Mario.
It is not Mario.
Right. Like, why does Princess Peach have a turnip? I don't know. Why can she float? I don't know. Why is Birdo shooting eggs at you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But if you can remove the Mario from it, it's a fun game.
It's a fun game, yeah. Haven't played it in 4.
Because no one goes back to Mario 2.
That's true. Everyone goes to Super Mario Brothers and then Super Mario 3.
Yeah, the greatest game ever made. Super Mario Brothers 3. I get it. Super Mario 3 is a better game than Super Mario Brothers 2. But I want everybody to remember 2's not terrible.
It's not garbage. As a game, it's a good game. It is not Mario. It is not the Mario you've come to know and love over all these years.
Right. Released in October 9th, 1988. So it's a oldie but a goodie. And I know it's not forgotten at all. Because like I said, it's been around. But I think people just forget about it. I think people just,
yeah,
overlook it. So it's only a USA thing.
Yes, it's true.
It did come out finally in 1992 in Japan. So a long gap there, and it was called Super Mario Brothers USA. because, like I said, it was an adaptation of Doki Doki Panic for the Famicom. So I don't know. I just feel like more people need to stop shitting on this game and go back and play it. Just remove the Mario.
It's not how most people work. They
insert Mario into everything now. Just imagine that.
Yeah, true.
Mario Rabbids would be a great game without Mario. It's better with Mario. I think Super Mario Bros. 2 would be a great game without Mario, but it's better with characters that you know.
And love.
And I think it's easier to go back to than maybe it was to play after 1. Like when you played Mario Brothers 1 and you went to 2, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yep, that was a big turn. Big turnaround there.
Yeah. But if you go back now and play, you're like, this is neat.
And then you went to 3 and all was forgiven.
Oh my gosh, 3. What a home run. What a redemption story.
Yeah. That's even bigger than the Wii U to the Switch.
Yeah, what a redemption story when people played 2 and absolutely hated it, and then they came with this full bore Super Mario Brothers 3, everything you could ever want and more. The menu music, the slot game, the matching thing.
Yep.
Toad houses. So good. Airships. Gosh, that game. So good. Anyways, Super Mario Bros. 2, my gone but not forgotten. And I know it's definitely not forgotten. But next time you're around the water cooler and you want to shit on it, just think about it. Just go back and check it out. It's probably not as bad as you remember as a kid.
It's not what you wanted when you were a kid.
And it's still not going to be what you wanted out of Mario 2.
No.
But it's fine. And I think it's more acceptable now because Nintendo's been shoving Mario in every franchise they had for the last 30 years.
Right.
So now it doesn't seem as out of place as it did back then.
It seems a little bit more par for the course.
Right. You're like, I get it. That's what they do. Makes sense. Oh, it's my gone but not forgotten. Like Dan said, if you have one for us, use the hashtag GBNF on Twitter at @game_stitch and let us know. We'll read it on this podcast. That's what we do.
True dat.
True dat. You can follow me. I'm at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Let us know what you think. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/Gamestitch. Had to think about it.
Almost.
I haven't streamed.
You almost missed it.
I haven't streamed in February because you can't stream without internet.
That's what I hear.
Fun fact, no streaming.
However, it should be noted, we've only ever promised one, and we've got one. So
we actually have 2 for this month.
Do we?
Yeah, you did 2 in February so far.
No, I did. That doesn't even sound like me.
You did Hitman and...
Oh, Hitman was February, wasn't it? It was February 1st.
Mm-hmm. And Nier.
Oh, I forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have 2 this February.
Sweet.
And I'm going to crank out when the internet happens. I know some of you have reached out to me about Kerbal. I'm going to get a stream up for Kerbal. Don't worry, it's going to happen. I know SpaceX got everybody jazzed up.
Yeah.
You also want to talk about a tie-in that should happen? Where's my SpaceX pack for Kerbal? Elon Musk has said out there on the internet that he plays Kerbal.
It's funny that you talk about SpaceX. We were at work. We have a new system that we're trying to integrate with our old system, and they don't integrate. Mm-hmm. So basically, we're having to do twice the work. I believe I made a comment this week. Are you kidding me? One man can send a car into space, and a committee can't make 2 programs work together.
Right. I think there's a lot of that going around. I've heard.
I think it was one man can build a rocket ship and send a car into space.
Right.
And we have a committee that can't make 2 programs work together.
In fairness, one man hired the smartest people on Earth to send a rocket.
I understand, but I narrowed it down.
Right.
To prove my point.
I've heard that a lot this week on things when they're like, Elon Musk can shoot his car to Mars and we can't do X, Y, Z. I've heard a lot of that lately. It seems like some of the excuses aren't working anymore because he launched a rocket carrying his car and what might be the coolest mannequin ever.
Yes.
Into space because Starman is a badass.
Uh-huh.
But space is hot right now. So I've had a few people hit me up about Kerbal questions. But yeah, you're talking about a tie-in that has to happen. I got to have a SpaceX pack.
You said Kerbal's hard, right?
Hard.
Yeah. Not
like at the end of Kerbal, I could actually go do it. I might could actually go send a rocket up.
No, you could not.
At its most basic level, you're just so imagine you being a kid, a toy box full of rocket parts, and they all have magnets on them. You just stick them together. That's what Kerbal is. But where it gets hard is that you have to improve upon your design after each test or whatever you want to call it. So you send it and you're like, oh, this didn't work.
But that depends on what went wrong.
Right. So
Gotcha.
stage 2 blew up. That didn't work. I'm going to have to retool stage 2. Well, maybe that changes stage 1. Now I've got a totally different rocket. I send it up. Now it's leaning to the left. Why is it leaning to the left? So it's a lot of trial and error. But I guess it's pretty simple at its face because you're just sticking things together. You can arrange them more or less however you want. You have, I'm playing sandbox mode mostly. So it just gives you all the parts. You have everything. Build cost doesn't matter. And you just try different things to see how far in space you can get. Now, ultimately, you can land on other planets and explore them. You can bring buggies with you, and you can do the whole space thing. I can't even get to a planet. But it has to have a SpaceX pack. It's so fitting. They did announce DLC. We didn't pull this in the news stories because I'm the only one playing it. But they announced I think it's like a Rockets in History or something. It's called.
Something like that, yeah.
It's going to be $15, and there's different missions, and I think there's some pre-made things that you can fly in there, but different quests and things like that to do. Now 2K owns that. I think that game will be supported for a long time, so I'm excited.
Good for you.
Yeah, be a great tie-in for them today. And now it's time for shout-outs. Remember, if you want to shout out, all you have to do is head over to patreon.com. Support us at the $10 tier and you get a shout out. Remember, if you don't provide us a shout out, we'll provide one for you because you've earned this spot.
And you should always get what you've earned.
Mm-hmm. And we're not one of those big corporations that was like, well, you didn't do whatever, so no, you're not getting it. No, not us. We're just going to give you a shout out. If it's wrong, don't get upset at us, though, because you could have provided one.
Yes, it's not our fault.
But I think we got some pretty good ones this week.
I don't think we've ever really said anything that someone was like, I don't think that holds. I feel like we've kind of been on point.
Well, I think we do our best to know our community.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
So when we're making these, we're putting ourselves in the shoes or the underwear of the person.
Ryan does the underwear. I do the shoes.
That's how you feel closer to someone. You wear their underwear.
Should be known.
And that allows you to make a shout out that makes sense. So no shout outs this week, but we're going to give the shout outs to the people who earned them.
Yes. And this week, Garrett says, I couldn't stand near either. Mm-hmm. Actually, he says I couldn't stand near. I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. I talked about it. It was okay. It wasn't great. I said it was very Japanese, very hack and slashy. There was no way I would pay full price for it. Well, he says I couldn't stand near. I tried multiple times. Not for me. Like you said, too Japanese for me. LOL. So, Garrett gets it.
My shout-out's for Thomas. Thomas was texting me back and forth last night as he was playing Sea of Thieves.
The beta, yes.
The beta for Sea of Thieves.
I heard from Thomas as well.
He said several things. I'm going to pick just one of his texts because I think this sums up
the entirety
both
of it?
Thomas and how he was feeling in that moment of Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
And he says, this goddamn game is so beautiful, videos don't do it justice. Smooth as butter.
I feel like...
Smooth as butter. That's the part I like.
That's what he said too. Yep. It's awesome. Like beautiful. Videos don't do it justice.
Smooth as butter. I also thought about going with, bruh, it's fucking dope, which he also sent me.
That's perfect. That's probably the one you should have went with because I like that one. They're both good.
Bruh,
as in BRUH, bruh,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh. It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And I sent back, I'm super jelly. I don't have internet. So, you can get your shout out, patreon.com/Gamestitch supports the $10 tier. And thanks for all those that have and continue to support us. It means a lot.
We love you.
We do. Not like in a romantic way, but we
in
love
like
you.
A bromance way.
Yeah.
Or a friend zone way.
Yeah, friend zone. Because I don't want to make it strictly for bros.
That's why I made the switch.
Right. like we friend zoned at each other.
Right.
Like sometimes we say things that's still a little weird, but you know that we're not going to do anything with it because we're friends. Every now and then a little offhanded comment, you know.
Yeah, we don't even realize we're being at ease.
It can't be.
Isn't that the thing about friend zoning?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing? Is that
you cross lines, but it can't be more.
Right.
Yeah. Was that movie Just Friends?
With Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart?
What's the other one with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis?
Oh no, that's not Just Friends. It's
just like that.
No Strings Attached?
Yeah, Friends with Benefits. Yeah, maybe called No Strings Attached. It's
Friends with Benefits was one too. One was Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher, and one was Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake.
Right.
And there was No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits. I can't remember which one was which, because they're essentially the same fucking movie.
They are the same movie.
Kind of like Deep Impact and Armageddon. Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us. This has been episode 266. 266, some people call that.
That's what anybody calls it, to be fair.
Thanks for making this podcast last as long as it did. Not like this episode, but like the whole run.
Like all 266 episodes.
Thanks for making those possible.
Not like, oh my god, this episode's so long, would you guys shut up now?
Right.
More like, we've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
And people listen.
Yeah. So, thanks for that. This has been 266, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Good night.
Good night.